Hello and welcome to my channel, and if this is your first time here, my name is Millie and today I'm going to be swatching all my eyeliners. I have quite a bit here. As you can see, they're mostly Colourpop, a lot of Melt Cosmetics as well, and I thought it would just be fun and possibly helpful for anybody who's been interested in any of these to kind of see them next to each other or just in general see them swatched out. So these are all my eyeliners. I have a few more here that don't fit in there. This is a brush holder for like painters that I got on Amazon in case you're interested. And so we have a mixture of some felt tip eyeliners, some brush eyeliners, and just some kind of crayon-y type of or retractable eyeliners, and of course a lot of varying colors. I love to use color and do colorful looks, so I use these all the time, not just when I'm filming but just to match any look and just add a little extra oomph in the waterline. So let's just hop right into it. I'm actually going to see if I can try to fit all of them here so that we could just have them all together. I think that would be really nice. So here are all my black eyeliners, for example. I'm not sure if I should even swatch all of these. I feel like we all know what a black eyeliner looks like. So I'm just going to talk about them really quickly here. Here's a Colourpop Cream Gel Liner, Revolution Makeup Eyeliner Pen, and this one's really cool because it has the eyeliner side and a side you can clean the wing up with. This is a liquid liner from Melt Cosmetics in the shade Alchemy, and this has a very thin, long brush on it. I actually don't really love this kind of eyeliner tip. I feel like I always get it on my lashes and it's super wet and then it gets everywhere and I have to like wipe off my lashes, so I don't love it, but it is nice and quick and it's very thin and I think it's easy to use. Then I have this Maybelline Unstoppable eyeliner. As you can see, it's been very worn. This is probably a couple of years old, and I basically mostly use these pen eyeliners for my upper waterline for when I have lashes on, so that you don't see my waterline and it doesn't look strange when I have false lashes on. And then this is a Pat McGrath Labs Smudge Smoky Eye Kohl. This one's a little bit bigger. I think this is good for if you wanted to do an all over the eye kind of black eyeliner and then put something over it. And then lastly, just the Tartist pen one is a felt tip on this side, which this one's actually dried out, but the other side has like a pencil, so I'm just keeping it for the pencil. And I just like having a bunch of them around and just kind of rotate them out. And so those are my black eyeliners. And I realized I forgot to include my ABH liquid liner pen. This one also has a very thin, very long tip, but this one is not like a brush. This one is a felt tip, even though it looks like a brush. So I haven't used this one that often because I just have so many of the other ones. First, I'm gonna swatch these Colourpop liquid liners, which have a felt tip. And I got these thinking I'm gonna be using these a lot, but I actually barely ever use them. And the first shade is The Hills, which is a very interesting green. I don't know if it's translating on camera, but it looks like a very cool muted mossy green. I'm gonna zoom you in a little bit. Next up is Make Love, which is a yellow, but it looks just like, it's not really like bright yellow. It's a little bit muted. Then there's Ducky, which is a pretty hot pink. Next up is Crazy, which this one, they make it seem like it's gonna be like a light like sky blue, and it's pretty much a black blue, and actually like as it's drying it just looks black. Totally forgot this is a black eyeliner. That should have been included, but I'm gonna swatch it anyways. Then there's Try Me, which is another like pinky reddish shade. And then lastly from these is Graceland, which is a white eyeliner. So these are all the Colourpop liquid liners, and it's not that I don't like them and that's the reason I don't use them. I just keep forgetting about and doing eyeliners, and I've just kind of strayed away from doing eyeliners in general. But also I feel like these take a little bit of building up, especially when you're using them on top of eyeshadow. So as I mentioned previously, I have a lot of the Colourpop eyeliners. These are the gel eyeliners, and I think some of these might be actually lip liners. I think these two caps, maybe even that one, but I've been using them in the waterline anyway. But of course I do that in my own discretion. So let's get into these. We've got some beautiful bright fun colors and also their newer pastel bundle. First one up is Insomniac, and that just broke on me. These are very fragile. I find that these neon ones are very dry, but they actually stay in the waterline because of that. So I recommend being very gentle with this. And you can see that's a really beautiful, cool tone, bright neon pink. Next up is Electric Daisy, also very dry, also broke on me, even though I had only the tiniest amount out. I feel like these just work better in the waterline. They're not really meant to be swatched on a dry arm. Very beautiful neon green. And then we have Crossed, which just wasting eyeliner over here. But now it's like creamier. Very stunning neon yellow. Then here's another white eyeliner. This is Exit. This one's much creamier, easier to swatch for sure, but you can tell it's not as opaque as the liquid version. Next up is Piggy Bank, and this one, so dry. This one, I don't love it. I feel like it doesn't stay in my waterline, and it's kind of hard to place there, but it is a really beautiful color. So this next one is actually a lippy pencil. So of course, use it at your own discretion in your waterline. Next up is also a lip liner, whatchamacallit. Such a cool grayish blue. And then lastly from the lip liners is Absolute Zero, which is basically a neon orange. So stunning. I don't know if I would ever use this on my lips. Next up we have Punch, which this one is also very dry. And this one is almost like a neon yellowy orange. Next on to some of the pastels. We've got Extra Frosting, which looks just like a very muted yellow. Like very muted. It's basically a nude. Then we have Amethyst Hour, which is a pretty cool toned pastel purple. Peach Fuzz. Obviously pretty straightforward there. Big Splash. Really beautiful aqua. And Icebreaker. Very light teal. And the last shade I have is Best O. And this is basically like a deep brownie burgundy shade. Very dry though. Since we're swatching bright colors, next up is LA Girl Shockwave Neon Eyeliner in the shade Gotcha. I actually haven't used this one in my waterline yet. This is pretty new to my collection. They were having a sale on Ulta. And then same brand, and this is Vivid, which is just a purple. I feel like that doesn't really look the same, but that's okay. It's still not similar to any other purples that I have because I don't have that many purples. Then I just have a random L'Oreal Infallible Paints liquid eyeliner in Vivid Aqua, which is super beautiful. Then I have a couple eyeliners from NYX. This one is the Glam Liner in Glam Azure. This one's kind of drying up. I've had it for a while, if you can't tell. But it's a really beautiful glittery blue. Probably gonna decolor this one. Then we've got the NYX Vivid Brights. And this is Vivid Sapphire, which is a really cool shade. Unfortunately, these crack. I've had the other shades as well, and the other shades were pretty disappointing in terms of color, but also just cracking on the lid. Starting to run out of space here, but next up is the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk, which is just a white. Then I have this Beauty For Real 24 karat eyeliner. This one I think came in a BoxyCharm back when I was still subscribed to BoxyCharm. This is actually a very stunning gold metallic. It blew my mind, and it's one of the few things I've kept from BoxyCharm stuff. Also pretty sure I got this from BoxyCharm, and this is Mellow Gel Clean Color in the shade, no idea, but it's a metallic silver. So beautiful. Highly pigmented, very creamy, a little soft. Then I have a nice nude shade for the waterline from NYX here, Wonder Pencil in shade Light. Obviously can't really even see that one. I'm not sure where I can fit this, I'm just gonna put it here. This is a mini sample size from Makeup Forever. The Artist Color Pencil in Full Red. I think this came in like a Sephora Play box when I was still subscribed. Very nice red. And then I have 3 eyeliners from Urban Decay. This one is the 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in Vice, which is a purple. Honestly, this one does not want to apply in the waterline. It's pretty hard. It doesn't stay. I don't love it. I just tried to get some use out of it. Then I have 2 more shades. One is in Alkaline and one is in Torch. So here is Alkaline. And then this kind of burnt orange. So here you have it. These are my kind of more colorful shades. And then next I'm gonna get into my Melt Cosmetics pencils that just I can't fit on here. But I think I have a pretty nice range. I would like maybe some more purples and greens though. I feel like there's some holes in there that I think would be nice, maybe like a teal too. So next up are my Melt Cosmetics eyeliners, and I love these so much. I know that they're not necessarily as affordable as the Colourpop, but Melt has sales pretty frequently nowadays, at least from what it seems like compared to like when they first started. And I got these a couple years ago during like a 4th of July sale, and they were $9 each, so that's not even that much more than the Colourpop ones. And I feel like they have some more grungier, kind of different, kind of more unique types of shades that Colourpop wouldn't have, or maybe some other brands. So that's why I love these. Some of them apply better than others, some of them stay in the waterline better than others. Overall, none of these will like last me all day in the waterline, and I don't really expect them to. I mean, they're literally right next to my eye. So, and also wanted to mention, I think 2 shades or 3 shades from these are lip liners. Again, I'm using them in my waterline at my own discretion. I haven't had any issues, and I don't ever use them on the lips, so they're only in my waterline. But let's get into the swatches. So the first one I'm gonna swatch is actually a liquid liner. It's the same thing as their black liner, but this one is called Molten, and it's like a dark brown. Very beautiful chocolatey brown. I always thought it would be nice to have this, and I just like that as an eyeliner versus a like harsh black sometimes. I think it can be a nice change. So first up we have Lamia. I'm probably butchering that, but this is basically a red toned brown, deep brown. Then this next one is a lip liner, and it's Santeria, and it's a beautiful deep burgundy. Next we have Filth, which is basically a deeper brown, but it has some like bronze specks in it. Then there's Columbia, which is just a really nice chocolatey brown. And then we're getting into the reds, and this is 818, which is a burgundy with gold flecks in it. Then we have Bloodshot, which is a pretty bright red, but it's a little bit on the almost magenta side, I would say. And then there's Kink, which is almost like another burgundy. It looks just a little lighter, a little bit more brown maybe. This next one is Jinx, and it's a lip liner. It's basically just a bright neon pink. Next is Baked, which is the most dreamy, grungy, yellowy, orangey, mustardy shade. I'm really good at describing colors if you haven't noticed. Next up is Porcelina. I don't love this one, honestly. It's pretty hard to put in the waterline. It has like glitter in it. Also don't love that. And then we have a silver, which is RX Queen. This is like a darker silver than from the other Swatch set. Now onto some of the blue. Now onto some blue shades. Here's Neptune, which is a really beautiful deep metallic blue. Then Montauk, which is also a metallic, but this one is much brighter. And then there's Mixtape, which is a glittery purple. This one's a little bit drier feeling than the other ones, and it doesn't really apply that great in the waterline. Next up is a lip liner in Cinder. It's just a really beautiful coral. And now down to the last 2. These are greens. Here is 420, which is a glittery, almost kind of metallic dark green. And Latex, which is a little bit teal, a little bit on the teal side, very deep green. So these are all the eyeliners and some lip liners I have from Melt Cosmetics. I just really love their range. And I pretty much have most of the eyeliners. I think there might be a couple, like 1 or 2, maybe 3 that I don't have, but would like to maybe eventually. So next up we have some other eyeliners that don't quite fit in the other holder I have my pencils in. So these are some Nabla Dazzle liners that are kind of like a brush tip. We have a super old Obsessive Compulsive Cosmetics Sebastian, and it's just kind of like an eyeliner, lip liner, whatever you want it to be. I think it's like a multi-stick. And then I have these two liners that I have swatched previously, and these are from XX Revolution. It's supposed to be kind of like duochromes, multi-chromes. And then we have a bunch of water-activated pastel eyeliners, and then some gel liners and stuff. So we're gonna swatch all of these, hopefully fit it on one arm. Let's see. Let's do the Dazzle liners first. Crystal. Seems like this one's a little drier. I've had these for a little bit, so maybe it's time to go through and declutter. Next up we have Comet. This one is nice. Don't really use this one often because it is pretty neutral. Cruel Jewel, which is this beautiful, deep, almost like blood red. It's a little watery though. Industrial, which is a silver. These take just a little bit of building up, but they're really nice formula otherwise. And then Purity. Okay, this one's dried out, so just kidding. It's interesting how come this one's dried out, but the other ones aren't. I got them around the same time. And I was super excited to swatch this next one, which is Klimt. And this is the best gold liquid eyeliner ever, but it also seems to be completely dry. So unfortunately, I won't be able to, but that used to be one of my favorites ever. So moving on, we have the Obsessive Compulsive Cosmetics Sebastian liner. And this one is pretty dry. They're not in business anymore, but I thought I would just swatch it anyway. It's a very interesting taupey shade. Then we have the Magnetics Energy shade from XX Revolution. It's supposed to be kind of like a duochrome, multi-chrome. This one's so insanely watery. It's honestly super sad. And then we have Voltage, which is a lot better. I have used these over like a black eyeliner, and they definitely layer on really well. So that's nice, but still a bit disappointing for $15. Next up is the gel liner, Venus from Colourpop, which is just a very beautiful red. Then I have Zulu. This one basically dried out, and I put some Inglot Duraline in it, but it just seems to not want to revive. And then there's Prance. Also very dry, but such a cool shade. I personally am not the biggest fan of these. I find that they dry out, but I also don't use them often. But even then, they're tightly sealed, so they shouldn't be kind of drying out this quickly. But I don't love them in general. The formula, I mean. Next up is the Danessa Merrick's Cushion Color in Cloud Control. And this one also, don't love it, definitely. Don't think it's waterproof like it says. When I first got it, it was really running and liquidy, and that just made it thin out, so it was not my favorite. But now it's dried out, so it seems like it's a little bit more opaque, but I do think I'm going to add some water to it, try to revive it a little bit maybe. Here it is. And the next is the KVD Super Brow, and this is in the shade Whiteout. And I've had this for a very long time, and it still feels pretty creamy, maybe just like slightly dry, but it's super nice. Since we're swatching the whites, next up is Suva Beauty Space Panda. This is a water activated liner, so definitely not waterproof by any means. Next up we have some GlamVice water activated pastel liners. We have Banana Split, Pink Velvet, Key Lime, Blue Raspberry, Ice Pop, Gelato. This one's such a cool shade. Love that purple. Last up is Peaches and Cream. So just some of my thoughts on these. I have used all of these, some multiple times, some not, and I don't love them. I don't know what it is. Every time I use them, they don't fully seem to dry down on me, and they stay a little tacky. I tried setting them, but then that makes them look weird and super textured, so it's hard to put lashes on when they're still a little sticky. And they also do crack just a little bit. I need to keep playing around with them because otherwise they're like really beautiful, but just not my favorite formula. But so here is the rest of my eyeliners. And that's everything for today's swatch sessions. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this was fun and helpful. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time.